this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
3, 2, 1, ready, go!
Might have just woken up like a few minutes ago. I am getting really good at just slapping makeup on my face on Sunday mornings though. Skills. Also, oh my gosh, so on Friday we went to Anime Kanji and we did a little panel and it was super fun. We talked about anime and YouTube and I talked about it as I play a lot of dating sims. That counts sort of, and everybody agreed, so. But man, I got me a little Bulma and she is so cute. She's like my new prized possession. Aside from alternate outfit Kuroko, obviously. For our first piece of news, it was April 1st a couple of days ago, and there were a few different April Fool's pranks that were pretty fun. There was the Misty thing, like a bunch of cosplayers all over the place were dressing up as Misty and acting like it was their new costume, and they all posed in the same way, and I thought that that was hilarious. But I do think that League of Legends players would agree that URF is the best April Fool's thing of all time. So URF stands for Ultra Rapid Fire, and it was a joke from 2014, actually, where they just sped everything up. They were like, got a new game mode, it's called URF, and when you went in, everything was faster. It's like super weird. It takes away that strategic, like, go at a, good pace, you don't want to push too hard, but you don't want to hold back too much. It like throws all of that out the window because everything is just sped up crazy. So people actually really loved it from 2014 and they were like, you should leave it in forever, and they didn't. They took it out. They let it go for 2 weeks longer than they were going to though because people loved it so much. And then it was keeping their fingers crossed for April 1st this year, going, man, I hope they bring URF back, and they totally did. So the question is, when people love it so much, why isn't it a game mode that just sticks around? And Riot did respond to that. They were basically saying, and I totally understand this point of view, right? That, number one, they have those rotating game modes that are super weird with the intention of not only keeping it light, but also testing things out and kind of seeing what happens when you do an extreme, right? So there is the assumption, which I think is accurate, that you really enjoy it at first and you really love that kind of, hectic atmosphere, but eventually it gets old. It doesn't feel challenging anymore. People create a meta. There are going to be characters that are super OP and then people are going to complain that they're OP, and then Riot will come back and say, well, isn't the point of this that it's kind of like bugged and weird, and like the sheen would wear off over time rather than it just being this really fun game mode that people get to play, whenever they want. It would turn into just another thing that they have to do maintenance on and another thing that they feel like they have to balance out because people are complaining, right? Like even within those 2 weeks in 2014, people are reminiscing and reflecting on when they were like, they're like, there's some dudes who play this too much. They know all the tricks and it's not fun anymore. Like it only lasts for so long when it's that sort of an experience. So they were like, no, we're not gonna leave it as just a game mode that you can play all the time, because this way it keeps it fun. It keeps it exciting for you guys. And it's something to look forward to. It has like a bit of a rarity value rather than just being there all the time and being this super weird game mode that, people sometimes play, but there's normally that one guy who's on there who's just like crushing everybody. That's gotta be an awesome feeling though, right? To create something and have people love it that much when it was supposed to be a joke. There are two ways that can always go. There's either, man, I hate this, I'm so glad that it's only here for April Fools, or it's, man, I love this. Oh yeah, it's April Fool's. Oh, what a great joke. And then, oh no, is it going away? Smart business, Riot. If you've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter 4, you've been able to take advantage of, I think, 3 different free DLC packs so far, which is awesome. Basically, Nintendo is giving us free DLC packs for Monster Hunter every month. So the one for April is like little Palico outfits, and one of them's Mario and one of them's Sonic, and they're adorable. And then you might remember way back news, we were talking about how you would be able to create the weapons and the armor, the like tunic set from Zelda, like Link's outfit and armor set and all of that. So that came out in March. We have no idea what's really coming down the pipe, but you know, they were kind of throwing out little deets, little nugs. They were throwing out information about different Nintendo crossovers that were going to be happening. So we can probably expect a lot of that. I just love that it's free. That's awesome. And there were a couple of people who were saying like, I'm really worried that if I don't log in now, like, is it only free for the 1 month? Or do they stack? Like, once I finally log in, am I going to be able to grab all of the DLC that's been out? And as far as everybody's concerned, it just stays up there. Like, you just get to download all that DLC at once, whatever you've missed. So that's pretty awesome, because I think a lot of people, there have been a lot of good games that have come out and games that people are really trying to focus on, like Bloodborne. So, by the way, we've got Bloodborne news coming up later, and it's hilarious. But anyways, like, yeah, it's not like you're going to be missing out on the April pack if you don't log in April, right? I haven't been playing nearly as much Monster Hunter because I've been trying to wait until I can get a new 3DS, which apparently you can finally get them again. I just haven't focused on it super hard because I've been too into the Final Fantasy XIV train, if I'm gonna be honest. Oh, by the way, side note, I know that you guys don't care, but I just really want to tell you because I brought it up. We finished the 2.0 storyline last night, and it's super cool, and I felt like we saved the world, and then other stuff happened, and we were like, oh, we didn't actually save the world, there's more stuff to be done. It's very exciting. It was really fun. Anyways. Another thing to keep in mind is that these packs aren't just like, here, have Nintendo costumes, okay? Bye, see you next month. It has new quests, it has new items, all sorts of stuff. So it's very much worth your time and very much worth the price of free. Like, it's awesome. Matthew Nadeshot Hag has quit the Call of Duty scene. He's been an esports player for years, since he was 13 years old, and I think he's 22 now. And he has officially quit. He's quit his team, which he was captain of. He's done. He's been on the Optic Gaming team for 6 years. And he said, quote, I felt like I was playing to not lose instead of playing to win, which is interesting. That's an interesting thing to say. Because he felt like if they did badly, it was entirely on his shoulders. Like, he was the one who got the brunt of it all. Because he was very much like the figurehead of that team. So rather than it being, man, I really hope we win, I'm gonna work really hard so that we can win and we can take it home, it was, God, I really hope that we don't lose because I don't want to get all of those emails and all of those Reddit posts and all of those tweets from people saying that I let everybody down and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He did make a video talking about how he was going to leave, and it seems like this last tournament that they went to, they took 7th place, and he had been thinking about doing this for quite a while now, and this was basically like the straw that broke the camel's back, as it were. He just realized that he wasn't having any fun with it anymore. And fortunately, pretty much everybody has been like, dog, you do you. If you don't love doing this, if this is not fun for you anymore, most people would have just kept it going because it pays the bills, and we're proud of you for, you know, quitting to make yourself happy. And like, it doesn't sound like this is the sort of decision that he made overnight, right? As a person who enjoys watching all kinds of esports, I'm sure that the pressure is incredible. But yeah, either way, we wish you the best. We hope that you find your love for the game again so that you can enjoy it just for you, man. Just for you. We had a Nintendo Direct on April 1st, so a lot of people weren't sure whether or not any of it was true. Turns out all of it was true, so that's good. One piece of information that I have not heard the end of since it came out is that there is going to be an Attack on Titan game that is being localized. A lot of people are making it sound like it's a totally new game. I don't think that it is from the information that I've read. It's a game that is already out in Japan. They have like physical copies of it, but I think here we're only going to get it as an eShop download, which kind of bums me out. I mean, as somebody who owns, who even knows how many games digitally, like I don't have physical copies of most of my games at this point, I would say. It does bum me out when I'm like, I don't even have the option to get it physically. Specifically handheld games. Like, I love owning physical copies of Vita games. I love owning physical copies of 3DS games. I don't know why that is. I don't know why it's any different. I guess because in one scenario, you know that as long as you have the game and the game system, that you can play the game, right? Like, you have that assurance. But anyway, back to the game. It's called Attack on Titan, Humanity in Chains, and in it, you are a member of the Survey Corps. If you know anything about Attack on Titan, you are a member of the Survey Corps. It is a 4-player game. It can be local or multiplayer co-op. And I don't know, it's interesting because, okay, so a lot of you, if you know anything about Attack on Titan, and if you've looked to see if there's any games available to you, have maybe played the super weird Attack on Titan browser game. I know a lot of people who have played that, and it's super jank ball, but it's like, it's fun, right? It's fun in a weird, repetitive way. Watching the trailer for this game, I was like, it does look better than that game, but not so much better that I'm like, wow. I assume the controls will be above and beyond, like way better than the browser game, because the browser game has jank ball controls, but I mean, it's still fun, you know? So I'll be interested to see what that game is like, because from the trailer, it looks similar in the, I'm gonna run around in town and kill titans. There are titans in the town, kill all the titans in the time limit, that sort of an idea, which is exactly what the browser game is, so. We'll see. We'll see what the game is. So there's a car in GTA 5 that is not allowed in GTA Online because it is so OP. The car is called the Duke of Death, and it's basically an invincible car, right? Not completely invincible, but it's really, really fast. It's really strong and just hardy, so you can like push other cars around, and it's really hard for other cars to do anything to you. So it's just, you know, it's a really, really cool car for people, but not one that they want in GTA Online because it kind of, you know, it skews stuff too much. But of course, cheaters are gonna cheat. And so, some people have figured out how to get that car into GTA Online, and Rockstar was having none of that. Observe the footage. So basically, Rockstar decided that it would be hilarious, which I agree, if when you get that car into the game, like you have to go through this whole, you know, system in order to figure out how to get that car into GTA Online, and then people are like, yes, did it. Get into the car, right? And it immediately explodes. There's no way for you to live through it. So the second that you say, yep, get in that car, wasted. It's pretty awesome. I love when companies are like, you ain't cheating on my watch, and do something hilarious with it. That is my absolute favorite thing, because it's fun for them, right? Like, dealing with the cheaters winds up being fun for the developers. It's fun for the community in general to be like, ha, hilarious. And like, maybe even the cheaters, you know, feel a little bit of respect, like, I see what you did there. I also wonder if that's easier coding-wise as well. Like thinking about it, to be able to say, okay, on only GTA Online servers, if you get into this car, the car explodes, right? I wonder if programming that is easier than trying to find the hole, trying to find how they got the car in there and patch that up without it just happening again. To just make it like, we don't care if you bring the car into the game, you can do that, but if you try to drive it, that's fun. I like it when it seems like developers are having a good time with a game, especially a really big game, like a AAA game. I like it when it seems like they're able to still come up with fun ideas, things that make themselves laugh, right? I know that this made them laugh. And as a final bit of news, some Bloodborne stuff that I am so excited to talk about because it actually happened to Sam. So he and I were talking about it, hilarious. So there is a bug that's super weird that makes it so if you've left the game on for a long time, if you've been playing it for a while or it's been idling, either way, I think the threshold is like 12 hours. If the game has just been on for 12 hours doing its thing, suddenly the bosses are not hard at all. There's a weird bug where if the game has been running for a long time, bosses won't use the majority of their abilities. So you'll go in to fight these bosses and they'll do like their one basic attack over and over and over again. They won't use any of their big abilities, like bosses that are supposed to be healing are not healing, bosses that are supposed to have big AoE stuff aren't using them, like, it's super weird. So the reason that I think this is hilarious is, again, this happened to Sam. So I remember the morning when Sam and I were talking about Bloodborne, and he was like, yeah, last night I was playing on stream, and I was like one-shotting all these bosses. Like, I just annihilated them. I killed like 4 in a row. And I was like, that seems super weird. So the reason that this is a big issue is, aside from the fact that it's a bug that creates a situation where none of the bosses in the game act the way that they should, Bloodborne is one of those games, like Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, like Demon Souls, any of that. Bloodborne is one of those games that is supposed to be challenging, like extremely challenging, like snap a controller in half, maybe eat one half and mail the other half to the developer sort of rage-inducing challenge. And yet, they have a bug in the game that makes it so the bosses are just like, what? I guess you win. Okay, I'm just gonna... Not only that, but as of right now, they have not fixed it. They haven't figured out a way to fix it, as far as we can tell. So, that's a fun bug to maybe exploit if you're bored. But like, it's not even one of those bugs that's fun, right? It's, if anything, if you're somebody who really, really loves these sorts of games, it's the sort of bug that's going to take away from your experience by a lot. You're gonna be like, oh wow, I'm doing pretty good. And then eventually, something's wrong here. This is not the experience that I signed up for. I wanted to have challenging boss battles that I needed to do at least 7 times in order to figure out the patterns and what is going on here. So if that happened to you, just know it is a bug. I'm sure it will be fixed eventually. We just don't know any information about it yet. And you can fix the bug by just restarting the game. Some people say that if you put the game in like sleep mode, I can't remember what that's called on the PS4, but if you like sort of soft shut it down, that fixes it. Some people say it doesn't, that it doesn't fix it at all, that you have to actually like restart the PS4 in order for it to fix the bug. So it's not something that just like persists forever. You can fix it. It's just, I think, probably frustrating for people when they're like, why is everything suddenly so easy? Anywho, that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to have coffee with me, I am still on hiatus, but I did put up an anime kanji vlog, so you can watch that here. And otherwise, I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. And I will talk to you again next Sunday? Hold on. Next Sunday, yes. I will talk to you next Sunday. All right, bye. Mwah. What? I guess you win. Okay.